Hi, so I hope you've enjoyed the little film. It gives some sense of a feeling of what arises inside of people as they dance, the alchemy of the dance. I think you can kind of see that it helps reconnect people to themselves. And as I say, this was a class, not a workshop, so it was only a 2-hour session. I think what I'd like to do is read a quote from Gabrielle Roth that speaks to the challenges of our times, which, in my observation, is true even when we've done a good amount of psychotherapy. I can't speak for everyone, but it's certainly this quote is applicable to myself. So anyway, here we go. So it speaks to some of the challenges of our times in terms of really what healing means. So she says, we all share the wound of fragmentation, and we can all share the wound of unification. Healing is the unification of all of our forces, the power of being, the power of feeling, the power of knowing, and the power of seeing. And she says, I look in the mirror and I look outside my window at others, and I see we're all struggling to really be in our bodies, struggling to know who we are and what we need, struggling to like ourselves rather than wanting to be somebody else or to be somewhere else. I see our ability to relate, to communicate from the heart, to overcome our distance and our sense of alienation from each other. I see us avoiding each other's eyes, at a loss to know what each other needs. And I see people searching for direction, trying to summon up their personal power, longing for the strength to be independent. The wounded healer in me knows that healing our driven self comes from our ability to empower our bodies, empower our hearts, empower our minds, our souls, and our spirit once more, and bring them into a vital unity. Spiritual healing means taking responsibility for being a whole person rather than a fragmented person. We have to take responsibility for being a body, having a heart, for possessing a mind, for awakening our soul, and for opening to spirit. We need to do right by our body, purify our relationships, use our mind for creative freedom, and not act out our enslavement and victimhood, and to undertake really a journey of transition from being fragmented to being whole. A whole person is an inspired one who embodies spirit and creativity. Disease is inertia, she says. Healing is movement. If you put the psyche and the body in motion, it will naturally heal itself. Movement is medicine. And I guess I would add from my own background that awareness is medicine also. So movement and awareness are, if we bring those two elements alongside of breath into our process, something inside of us can shift, awaken, find more space. And it brings in more of a quality of those things that create really a firmer sense of self. And I'd like to just go over what I feel are those qualities that bring in a greater sense of self, which is our ability to embody, know, be with and express our own emotions, at the same time to contain them so we don't act them out on each other. Our ability to witness inside of ourselves, to witness what's happening, to witness how we are in relatedness, to be emotionally authentic, to learn to be honest with ourselves about what's happening, and to really look into our patterns and ego states and those core wounds that drive us, and to start to realize that we can really come back to the center of who we are and get out from inside of the drama triangle of being in the victim, the persecutor, the rescuer, and really be in a creative place where we can co-create together. As I'm sure in the creation of this beautiful conference that you're all in, you started perhaps to get a sense of both the beauty and the challenges of co-creation, that when we start to wake up to doing projects together, we can really super inspire each other and wake up together. And also we hit conflicts, we hit places where we have difference of opinions, different views, and we need to learn how to be with all of that. And in my experience, the dance is a beautiful metaphor, and it's a metaphor for learning to be with everything. It's a metaphor for deepening a ground of competency and capacity physically through our breath, through our dance, to be with all of our feelings, to be with all of our psychic disturbance, and to also to develop and cultivate strengths. So if I just take one simple psychotherapeutic principle around grounding, you know, you could say that really building a sense of self and supporting clients to do that is a way of becoming more grounded in who we are and waking up then to a sense of possibility and choice. So our patterns around grounding are held deeply within our body. So for example, if I'm ungrounded in my mind a lot, there are probably patterns in my body that are pulling away from the ground. My weight is pulling up, I'm kind of pulling up into my head. Maybe my knees are locked, maybe my pelvis is locked. And to really connect to the earth, our connection is through our legs. Our body connects to the earth through our legs. So it doesn't matter how much of a concept I have or how developed my sense of self is in my mind, if my body is still holding patterns of pulling away from the ground, when emotions arise, I'm going to feel overwhelmed by them and not like I'm sharing them with the earth, if you like. That if you like, you could say that the earth is our great mother. It's the mother that can enable us to be with our experience. So I would say through the dance, we're able to develop aspects of ourselves in a very beautiful way that includes playfulness, it includes joy, it includes the alchemy of motion, of sweat, of dancing in community, dancing with others, sharing space, and therefore does overcome some of this wound of fragmentation. So let me just take a moment. So I'm just going to pause for a moment.